Be still for a moment, my child. Put down what you are holding. Let the room grow quiet around you. Because tonight, I am not speaking to a crowd. I am speaking to you. The one who knelt beside the bed again tonight and said a name into the dark. Not your own name, theirs. I heard it. I have heard it every single time. You did not stumble onto this by accident. I brought you here. Something in you was searching tonight, scrolling past 100 things that could not touch the ache you carry. And I answered. So do not leave yet. Stay here with me for these few minutes. Because what I want to say to you will not change your child in the next hour, and I will not pretend that it will. But it can change how you carry this. It can change the weight on your shoulders before you sleep tonight. And that, my beloved, is where I want to begin. You have been carrying something that almost no one sees. Other burdens. People can look at and understand. A sickness has a name. A bill has a number. A grave has a stone. But this grief of yours has no funeral, no diagnosis, no date. Your child is alive. Your child is healthy, perhaps. Your child may even call you, sit at your table, hug you at the door. And still you grieve, quietly, in a place so deep that even the people who love you cannot find it. Because the child you raised to know me has walked away from me. And nobody brings a casserole for that. Nobody sends a card. The world does not even call it a loss. But I do. I see it. And I have seen every part of it. I was there on Sunday morning, in the pew where they used to sit beside you. You still go. You still sing. But there is a space next to you, shaped exactly like them. And some weeks the empty seat is louder than the choir. I saw you when the friendly voice in the lobby asked, "So how are the kids doing? Are they plugged in anywhere?" And I saw the smile you built in half a second, the careful answer. The way you turned the conversation like a ship before it could reach the water you cannot speak about. You have become skilled at that turn. It costs you something every time. I know. I was standing with you in that lobby. I was there for the phone calls, too, the ones that have grown shorter over the years. They still call you. They are still kind. You talk about the weather, the job, the car that needs work. And the whole time, there is one subject sitting between you like a stone in the road. And you have learned to drive around it. Because the one time you brought me up, you remember the time, their voice changed. Something closed. And you were so afraid of losing the little you still had of them that you taught yourself to be silent about the one thing that matters most to you in all the world. My child, I know what that silence costs you. Every call that ends without my name in it, you set down the phone and you feel it. The strange loneliness of loving someone with your whole heart and not being able to share with them the deepest room of that heart. And I was there at 2 a.m. I am always there at 2 a.m. When the house is dark and your eyes open for no reason you can name. And within 3 breaths, the thought arrives, the same thought, the one that never has to be invited. Where are they tonight? What do they believe tonight? Who is speaking into their life tonight? I have watched you slip out of bed so as not to wake anyone. I have watched you kneel on a floor that has learned the shape of your knees. And I have heard the prayer, the one you have prayed so many years that the words come out worn smooth like river stones. Bring them home. Open their eyes. Do not let them go. You have said it 10,000 times. And the tears, my beloved, the tears are still new every time. The words have grown old, but the ache has not aged a single day. I have counted those nights. You think they disappear into the ceiling? They do not. Not one of them has been lost. Hold on to that. I will return to it. Because long ago, I wrote something down about tears like yours. And before this night is over, I want you to hear it again. But first, there is one more thing I have watched you carry, and it may be the heaviest of all. The questions, the ones you ask with your face in your hands. Where did I go wrong? Was I too strict? Did I make my faith feel like a cage to them? Or was I too soft? Did I make it look optional? Was I working too much in those years when they were small? Did they see something in me, some failure, some hypocrisy, some Tuesday I do not even remember, that broke it for them? You have gone back through their childhood like a detective through old files, searching for the moment it cracked, certain that if you look long enough, you will find your own fingerprints on it. My child, set the files down. Look at me now, because I am going to say something to you as plainly as I have ever said anything. You were not a perfect parent. There has only ever been one perfect father, and even my children wander. Do you hear that? Adam walked with me in the cool of the garden itself, and he hid from me among the trees. The failure of a child to follow is not the verdict on a parent's love. You gave them what you had. You planted what you knew. You prayed words over their crib that they cannot remember and I cannot forget. And the choice they are making now, in their freedom, the freedom I myself gave them, the same freedom I gave you, that choice is not a sentence written against you. So when the accuser comes at 2 in the morning, dressed up as your own conscience, reading you the list of your failures, you may answer him with this: My Father has not laid this charge against me, and I will not carry a verdict my Father never wrote. And then there is the fear underneath all the other fears, the one you have never said out loud, not to your husband, not to your wife, not to your pastor, not even fully to me, though I have read it in you 1,000 times. The fear that goes, what if I run out of time? What if I grow old and my eyes close before their eyes open? What if I never get to see it? Oh, my beloved, come here, come close. That fear has been crushing you in secret, and tonight we are going to take it out of the dark together. Because fears like that lose half their weight the moment they are spoken in my presence. We will come back to it before the end. I promise you that. And when we do, I will show you why even that fear, your heaviest one, cannot do what it threatens. But first, you need to hear the thing your tired heart has stopped being able to believe. You are not alone in this, and neither are they. You feel like the only one. In a church full of families that look whole, you feel like the one with the hidden fracture. But lift your eyes, my child. Look down your own pew. Look across the aisle. So many of the gray heads bowed around you on Sunday are bowed over the very same prayer. Mothers and fathers by the millions in every nation under heaven kneeling tonight over the names of children who have wandered. You belong to a great, quiet fellowship of watching parents, and not one of you can see the others, because each of you thinks you are the only one. You are not the only one. You were never the only one. And your child, listen to me now. Your child has not wandered out of my sight, not for 1 hour. There is no city far enough, no philosophy thick enough, no anger cold enough, no distance long enough to take them off the path my eyes travel. You cannot watch them anymore. You do not know what they do with their evenings, who they listen to, what they believe this month. The not knowing torments you. So hear this and let it sink all the way down. I know. I see them right now, this very night, as clearly as I see you. The mother's eye and the father's eye must eventually lose sight of a child. Mine never has. Mine never will. You are not handing your prayers to a God who has lost track of the person you are praying for. I could tell you the room they are sitting in tonight. I love them, my child. Do you understand? I am not pursuing them as a judge pursues a fugitive. I am pursuing them the way you would. No, more. I am pursuing them the way I pursued you. Now let me take you somewhere. Long ago, when I walked among you, I told a story. You have heard it so many times that perhaps it has gone smooth and familiar in your ears, like a picture hung so long on the wall that you no longer see it. Tonight, I want to take it down off the wall and put it in your hands again. Because I did not tell that story for the wanderers only. I told it for the ones who wait. There was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger one came to him and asked for his inheritance early, which, in that time and place, was a way of saying, "Father, I wish you were dead. Give me what is mine and let me go." And the father, here is the first thing I want you to see. The father let him go. He did not chain him to the doorpost. He did not stand in the gate. He opened his hand, and the boy walked out of it, down the road, around the bend, gone. You know what that opening of the hand cost. You have done it. There is a particular kind of strength it takes to love someone and let them leave. And the world has no medal for it. But I do not miss it. The father in my story is not a careless father. He is a father who understood what you have had to learn through tears. That love which has to be forced is not the love he wanted, and not the love I want either. I have never once dragged a soul into my house by the hair. The door of my house stands open. That is its glory. So the boy went, and he wasted everything, in a country far away, among people who loved his money and not him. And the famine came, as famines do, and he ended up feeding pigs, so hungry that the pig food looked good to him. And the story says he came to himself. Not someone argued him to himself, not someone shamed him to himself. He came to himself, in the silence, in the hunger, far from home, with no one preaching at him at all. Remember that, my child. The next time you torment yourself for not finding the right words. Some journeys home begin in a far country, in a silence, where no parent's voice can reach. But mine still can. And he got up, and he started down the long road home, rehearsing a speech about being no longer worthy. Now, here is the line. Here is the line I told that whole story to deliver. And tonight, I am delivering it straight to you, the one kneeling at 2 in the morning. It is written in the 15th chapter of Luke, and it says, "But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. When he was yet a great way off, his father saw him." My child, how does a father see a son who is still a great way off? Only one way. He was watching the road every day. He had never stopped watching the road. While the neighbors whispered, while the seasons turned, while the older brother muttered in the field, that old man's eyes went down the road to the bend, morning after morning after morning. The boy gave him no reason to hope. No letters came from the far country. And still, every day, the road. And when at last there was a figure at the bend, thinner, dressed in rags, still too far away to call to, the father did not wait on the porch with folded arms to hear the apology. He ran, an old man, gathering up his robes and running down a public road, past every staring neighbor, undignified, weeping, arms open. He reached the boy before the boy could finish the first sentence of his rehearsed speech, and he fell on his neck and kissed him, and called for the robe and the ring before the apology was even done. I told you that story to show you my heart. That father is not a picture of what you must do. That father is a picture of who I am. So now hold your two fears up against that story. You fear that your child has gone too far. But the boy in my story went as far as a soul can go. He wished his father dead. He wasted everything. He sank to the floor of a pig pen, and the road home still reached all the way to where he was standing. The road home reaches the far country, my child. It always has. And you fear that no one is watching anymore, that the waiting is all on you, that you are the only sentinel left at the window. Beloved, I am at the window. I was watching that road before you ever knew there was a road. You may sleep tonight. The watch does not end when you lie down. The Father is watching the road, and my eyes do not close. If these words have found the sore place tonight, the place you do not show anyone, then stay with me a while longer, because the deepest comfort I have for you is still ahead. And if you carry a name down that road every night, you may write it below if you wish, or simply write the words, I am watching the road. Not for a miracle, not as a charm, only so that another mother, another father, scrolling in the dark the way you were, will see it and know they do not kneel alone. And if you would like words like these to find you again tomorrow and the day after, let this channel walk with you. Now come, there is a woman I want you to meet. Her name was Hannah, and she knew your 2 in the morning floor. She wanted a child the way you want your child back, with that whole body wanting that has no off switch. Year after year, nothing. And the world was not kind about it. There was another woman in the house who had children easily and who made sure Hannah felt every inch of her emptiness. Sound familiar? my child? The friend whose children are all walking with me, all serving, all raising my grandchildren in the faith, the one whose Christmas letter you can hardly finish reading? I am not scolding you for the sting. I am telling you, Hannah felt it too, every year, until she could not eat for grief. And she went up to my house in Shiloh, and she wept, and she prayed. She prayed so hard and so silently, her lips moving, no sound coming out, that the priest Eli watched her and concluded she was drunk. Think of it, the most honest prayer in the whole temple that day, and the professional religious man mistook it for wine. Even your tears can be misread by people who should know better. Perhaps yours have been. Perhaps someone has told you that if you had more faith, you would not grieve like this, or that your grief means you do not trust me. Let Hannah answer them. The deepest trust often weeps the hardest. She was not drunk. She was pouring out her soul before me. And I, hear this, I was not embarrassed by her tears. I leaned into them, and in my time, the answer came. And she stood in that same temple holding a little boy, and she said the words that are written in the first chapter of the first book of Samuel. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition which I asked of him. For this child I prayed. 4 words, my child, and your whole life is in them. You know exactly what it is to look at one particular face and feel a decade of midnight petitions pressing behind your eyes. Now, I will be honest with you, because I am not a God who comforts with smoke. Hannah waited years with no sign that anything was moving. The years of silence were not empty years. That is what I want you to take from her. While nothing was visible, everything was in motion. The answer to Hannah's praying was not a smaller life, but a larger one than she had dared ask. The boy she prayed for grew into the prophet who would anoint kings. She asked me for a child. I was preparing a turning point for a nation. The size of the silence, beloved, is not the size of the no. Sometimes the silence is the size of what is being prepared in it. I do not show you Hannah so you can demand her exact ending. I show you Hannah so you will know what I do with the prayers of a parent who keeps coming back. I gather them, every one. Not one syllable you have spoken over that child's name has fallen on the floor of heaven. There is no such thing as a wasted prayer in my house. You have wondered in the gray hours whether you are just talking to the ceiling. You are not. You have an audience of one, and the one is leaning in. And those tears of yours, let me tell you what I wrote about them long ago in a song my people sang on the road up to Jerusalem. It is the 126th Psalm, and it says, "They that sow in tears shall reap in joy." Notice the word I chose, my child. Sow, not spill, not waste, not lose. Sow. You have been thinking of your tears as something draining out of you, proof of helplessness, water poured on the ground. Heaven has a different accounting. Every midnight prayer you have wept over that child, I have counted as seed going into soil. And what does a farmer know about seed? He knows that the moment it disappears into the dark earth is not the end of its story. It is the beginning. He knows that for a long season, The field looks exactly as if nothing happened. Flat, brown, silent. And he knows that the silence of the field is not the verdict on the seed. You have been reading the silence of the field as the verdict on the seed. Your child rolls their eyes, or changes the subject, or posts something that breaks your heart. And you think, nothing I prayed has done anything. My child, you cannot see under the soil. You do not know what I am doing in the dark of that heart. The conversation they could not shake off. The emptiness that surprised them on an ordinary Tuesday. The old hymn that ambushed them in a supermarket aisle and put an ache in their chest they could not explain. You do not see the underground. I work in the underground. That is where I have always worked. The far country has a silence in it, and I am in that silence, speaking in ways that need no parent's voice to carry them. The same psalm goes on. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Doubtless, that is the word that is written. The weeping sower is not gambling. The harvest belongs to me. Its hour belongs to me. Its shape belongs to me. And I will not let you chain your heart to a calendar I never gave you. But hear what I am telling you tonight, as plainly as it is written. Tears sown before me are never sown for nothing. Keep sowing, my child. Sow and sleep. The growing is not your department. It never was. And while you sleep, know who stands guard over the whole field. Long ago, through my prophet Isaiah, in the 49th chapter, I made my heart plain toward those who wait on me. And these are the words as they are written. I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children. I will contend. Do you know what that word means, my beloved? It means I do not sit neutral. You have felt these years as if you were in a tug of war for that child's soul against a whole roaring world. The voices in their ears, the teachers of emptiness, the friends who mock what you taught them, the 1,000 glowing screens, and you, one tired parent with a worn-out prayer, alone on your end of the rope. Look down at your hands, my child. You were never alone on the rope. I contend, I fight for families. I am not a spectator at the struggle over your child. I am a party to it, and I have never lost the long game to the noise of a passing age. That is who your prayers are addressed to, not a clerk filing requests, a father contending. So now we can take out the last fear, the heavy one, the one you keep at the bottom of everything. What if I do not live to see it? Come here, beloved. Let us look at it together, in the light, where fears shrink. First, the truth you already know, but cannot feel at 2 in the morning. Your prayers do not retire when you do. The seed outlives the sower. That is the whole nature of seed. The prayers of a praying mother, a praying father, do not get buried with them. They remain before me, stored, alive, working, long after the voice that prayed them has gone quiet on the earth. History is full of wanderers who came home years after the one who prayed for them had come home to me. And do you think those parents, here with me, were robbed of the joy? My house is not a place of closed books, my child. Nothing sown in tears is ever beyond the reach of the harvest. And second, You do not know the ending, and neither does your fear. Your fear keeps telling you the story ends where it currently stands. The eye rolling, the silence, the distance. But you are standing in the middle of a story and grieving as if you had read the last page. You have not read the last page. I have. I will not read it to you. For the same reason I did not tell the father in my story what day the boy would appear at the bend, because I am after your trust, not your timekeeping. But I will tell you this. The middle of the story is a terrible place to judge the whole book. Joseph's story looked finished at the bottom of a pit. It was not finished. Do not write the ending for me, my child. Endings are mine. And one thing more, gently, because I see how long you have carried this alone. Stop carrying it alone. This grief grows heavier in secret and lighter in company. That is how I designed my family to work. Somewhere near you, there is one trusted friend, one small circle, one praying companion, one shepherd of my flock, who would count it an honor to kneel beside you over that name. Find them. Say it out loud to one safe person. My child has wandered, and I am tired, and I need someone to watch the road with me. That is not weakness, beloved. That is the body I built, being the body I built. The watchers were never meant to keep watch in solitary towers. Now, before I bless you and let you sleep, let me put 3 small things in your hands. Not commandments, direction. The kind a father gives at the door. The first, every night. Hand them back to me. You have been praying for your child, and then, at sunrise, picking the whole weight of them right back up and strapping it on for the day. That is not what Hannah did. When Hannah finally received her Samuel, she did the unthinkable. She brought him back to my house and gave him to me, the very treasure she had wept years to hold. She had learned the secret in the long silence. A child held with open hands is safer than a child gripped in a fist. So tonight, when you pray, finish differently. Say the name, and then say, they are yours. They were always yours. I borrowed them for a childhood. You hold them for eternity. Tonight, I leave them in your hands, and I am going to sleep. And then, my child, sleep. You can sleep, because the one who keeps the watch does not. The second, love them without a sermon. I know the urge. Every visit, every phone call, you feel the clock ticking and the pressure rising to say something, fix something, argue them back to me. But remember the story. The boy in the far country was not argued home. And remember what the father did and did not do. He did not send servants into the far country with pamphlets. He kept a home worth coming back to, and a door that was never locked, and a face that held no, I told you so. Be that door, my child. Let your table be safe ground. Let them be sure of one thing on this whole spinning earth, that whatever they believe this year, your love is not a negotiation. You are not lowering your light by raising your welcome. You are making sure that when the famine comes, and the far country always has a famine in it, the road home has nothing standing in it. And the third, let your life do the preaching now. They have heard your words. They could recite your words. Your words are not the missing piece. What they are watching now more closely than you know, in the way grown children watch their parents while pretending not to, is whether it is real in you. When trouble hits you and you do not crumble, when you grow older and the peace grows deeper instead of thinner, when they see you forgive someone or sit content with little, or face a hard diagnosis with a steady soul. That, my child, is a language the far country cannot argue with. A lamp does not chase the darkness around the room, shouting at it. It burns. Burn quietly. I will handle the dark. That is your part, beloved. Hand them over nightly. Hold the door open and burn. The rest, the timing, the turning, the bend in the road, leave to the one who watches it. If you have stayed with me this long, then you are surely one of the watching ones, and I am glad you came tonight. If these words have steadied you, let them find you again. Walk with this channel, and come back tomorrow and the day after, for there is a word here for every night you cannot sleep. And below, if you wish, leave the first name or just the first letter of a name that you will be handing back to me tonight, so the great quiet fellowship of watching parents can see how many lamps are burning in how many windows, and pray for one another. That is all it is, beloved. Lamp answering lamp across the dark. And now, my child, the hour is late, and you have carried this long enough for one day. So let me say over you what I have wanted to say since you knelt down tonight. I see you. I have seen every empty seat, every careful answer, every swallowed sentence on the phone, every 2 in the morning floor. None of it has been invisible, and none of it has been wasted. You have not failed because they wandered. You have loved well in a long winter. And I keep a record of long winters. The one you pray for has never left my sight, and the road between us is never closed from my side. Your tears are in the ground as seed. Your prayers are gathered, every one. And the watch is not yours tonight. It is mine. It was always mine. So lay it down now. Lay the name down in my hands, where it has always been safest. Unclench the fist your heart has been making for years, and sleep, my beloved. Not the thin sleep of the worried, but the deep sleep of a watchman relieved of duty by the morning shift, going home as the light comes up. I am at the window. I am watching the road. And when there is a figure at the bend, and you must let me keep the day and the hour, I will not walk to meet them. I will run. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you, not as the world gives. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Good night, my child. You are loved. Your child is loved, and the lamp is lit.